Hello everyone, Ladislas, Maurice from the wanderinginvestor.com. Today I'm in Bogota in Colombia and I'm going to go check out a student housing project with my agent here, Arcesio, and we're going to do the exact numbers in terms of the yield breakdown. So it's not the most attractive investment I've seen, that's for sure, but it just gives a good idea of what the market has to offer in Bogota in terms of affordable middle class investments. So right here behind me is one of the biggest universities in Bogota. It's a few blocks, like it's huge that way. Then behind me on the other side, there's the Catholic University of Colombia. So it's a district with a lot of universities. It's close to Chapinero, Alto, which is one of the better neighborhoods, but it's also close to one of the dodgier areas of town. So it's a bit in between with a lot of students. So this building, just to show you what it looks like. So this is what middle class students want to live in, like new building. It's got all the amenities. There's a parking downstairs. There's a whole bunch of fast food shops here. So that's all in the building. It's pretty cool. I mean, if you want to go eat fried chicken, just all these like little restaurants. I mean, right now we're Saturday morning. Everyone's probably hungover, so things are closed. And there's security at the entrance. So like think of it like it's, you know, student housing with security, but it's in an area where if I had my daughter here, I'd probably want security. All right, so we are on the 8th floor. It is a 34 square meter apartment. Essentially it's a 1-bedroom apartment. There's a little kitchenette. I mean, this is like proper student housing. This is, you know, it is what it is. But I think what we want to get to here is the numbers, because it's fairly representative of what you can get in Bogota. So the view is kind of cute down there with all the like colorful housing. Actually, when you fly away from Bogota, you can see that neighborhood. So I mean, it's a little outdated, but I mean, for students, it's good enough. Arcesio, thank you very much for showing us this apartment. So I met Arcesio a few years ago in Hungary, and we've been good friends ever since. And then during this whole week, he took me around and showed me Bogota. So thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it.
Ladislas, no, it's great seeing you here. We have seen many properties during these couple days.
Great. So you're mentioning that the price of this property is?
The price of this property is 270 million pesos.
Okay, so that's about $67,000 at an exchange rate of 4,000 pesos to the dollar. Look, how negotiable is this?
It depends on the property owner, but usually you could go about probably 5% below.
Okay.
That's like the normal.
Okay, so for the numbers, let's just assume we're paying the normal price and that the negotiation would cover the closing costs and whatever furniture one needs to add, but still one could probably get it cheaper. Okay, how much rental income could one expect?
You could go from 1,100,000 pesos at this moment. There are apartments that are listed at like 1,200,000, so if you negotiate maybe 1,100,000. And it's good to say that the rent prices have been impacted by the pandemic because there is a university on the site and they haven't been all the time at the university. They've been virtual, and that is expected to change.
So you're saying the rents were higher before the whole situation?
The rents were higher before. What we've been researching, they were like around 1,500,000, 1,400,000 pesos. Plus administration.
So rents have gone down approximately 20% since the whole situation.
Exactly.
Okay, so if things resolve themselves, then we should see rents go up again.
Exactly.
But we're going to use the conservative assumption of going with the current rent of 1.1, and the HOA fees, it's actually the students that pay, it's not the owner.
Exactly. When you rent the apartment, usually they pay we call it administration here, but it's HOA in English. And yes, it's supposed to be paid by the tenant. Also, the services should be paid by the tenant.
You were telling me the homeowners association fees are approximately $35 a month, so it's not too expensive. 140,000 pesos.
Yeah, it's not too expensive also because the area of the apartment is small.
Yeah.
So you pay proportional to the area of the apartment.
Okay, but the student would pay this. To calculate the net rental yield, what occupancy rate would you suggest at this stage?
What we've been looking right now is that the current occupancy is 80%, so we should go for the conservative number.
Okay. In terms of management fees, the people you work with would take how much of the rent to manage?
Management fees, they will take around 8%, plus if they do insurance, because property managers can include insurance, they will charge probably 11.5%, around 11 to 12% of the monthly rent.
Okay.
But then you won't have to worry about anything.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and insurance is important in Colombia. When you rent out to foreigners, a bit less so, especially the midterm market like we did in Medellin. But here, if you're going to go with locals, the risk of people not paying is relatively high. I mean, how would you put the risk?
It depends. It depends on the situation, but not talking about risk. The problem is the legislation that to take somebody out, if they stay in your apartment, you have to use a lawyer, and it will take you like a year and a half, and then you will have to try to find that money on trial, and it will be 3 years. So it's better to pay the insurance.
Cool.
It's very recommended.
Great. Okay, so let's run with an assumption of 12% for property tax and for the insurance in case tenants don't pay. How much is the yearly property tax?
The yearly property tax, we're talking about 700,000 pesos.
Okay, so less than $200 of property tax a year.
Exactly, and there is a discount that you can get if you pay on time. That's around 8 to 10%, it depends on the...
Cool, so again, for the assumption, we'll assume that you don't pay on time and you pay the full price to be conservative. In terms of maintenance, how much would it cost, whenever there's a problem, a broken tile, or, I mean, we're talking of students, a broken faucet, or how much would you allocate per month?
Well, in the case that they break it, they have to pay for it.
Okay.
But if it's something that you provided and it's not working, then you pay for it. Since this building is not a very old building, it could be around 50,000 pesos per month. It's a very low expense.
So essentially, if we take the conservative price without negotiating, we take a conservative rent of 1.1, assuming that things don't get better. If we're conservative with the occupancy rate of 80%, because again, if things improve, then not only will the rent go up, but the occupancy rate will go up as well. We take out the 12% for management and insurance, we take out the property tax, we take out maintenance, we get to a net yield of approximately 3%. Is it fantastic? No. Is there upside? Yes. I wanted you to show us an investment that is relatively representative of what Bogota has to offer right now at an affordable price. So essentially that's what you get. You for less than $70,000, $67,000, you have yourself a studio in an okayish area. Actually, we were debating this earlier because on the one hand, this area seems to have a lot of new buildings like this, which makes the area better. There are the universities. It's near Chapinero, Alto, which is one of the better neighborhoods in town. But then there's a park, a 10-minute walk from here. I'll try to add some B-roll. I'll go there after if I come back with my phone after going to that park. But it's essentially a massive slum. So is this an area that used to be good and then became less good? Was it an area that wasn't that good that's getting better, or is it a mix of the both?
I think it's a mix of the both. Like in Bogota, you'll find areas like not very good neighborhoods with good neighborhoods. It's just how the structure of the city. We are in the corner of Chapinero Alto. Basically, this includes Chapinero Alto. And then going north, it keeps being Chapinero Alto. Chapinero Alto is well known for foreign housing. It's a decent neighborhood. I mean, there are old buildings, new buildings. There's good activity, and there are other buildings that are not nice. Maybe besides, like the ones we can see here up above the mountain. That's not a very, let's say, nice neighborhood in that sense.
It's pretty, it's like the colorful housing.
Yes, but there could be, I mean, sometimes there is more crime and things like that. Not necessarily, but And the park, they need to maintain it well because it used to be a nice park and it's not in a bad location. In front of the park, there is the company Ecopetrol and there are other important businesses. Yeah. But I think it's more a matter of maybe the situation right now, but it could improve. And also this area, there are a lot of universities around, not only Javeriana, Católica, there is CESA, really close. There is the Hospital Militar, which is like military hospital, and students also go there to train. I mean, there is good fundamentals in the area, and usually it's a little bit norther. There are more like bars and restaurants and different kind of places for different kind of people. And it's an area that is very pleasant or very attractive for foreigners if they want to live, because it's very relaxed. And there are also some small boutique hotels around the area.
Cool, but that's more north from here.
That's a little bit northern, yes.
Okay.
We are like in the corner, so it's cool. It's a big localidad.
Okay, so I'm staying near Zona T, which is one of the entertainment districts in the nice area of Bogota. It was a 20-minute Uber, and it cost me $1.50 to get here this morning. So it's not like getting from here to the better areas is expensive or at all. It's literally one road straight. Yeah, so I think this just gives people a good idea of what $67,000 can get them in Bogota. I mean, we are talking of a growing city of 8 million people. That's less than $2,000 per square meter, so it's not extremely expensive. There's upside. I think it's just the sort of investment where you just need to be patient, and it's relatively easy to manage in the sense that it'll be easy, I think, to find talent to manage the apartment.
Yeah, in Bogota, that won't be a problem. There are many companies that can do the job.
So you've been in real estate in Bogota for how many years?
I've been in real estate formally more than 10 years. I have done small investments too in different type of assets. I've been working as a commercial real estate broker since 7 years ago. I have really good connections in the city in all levels, and I can work with investors. My education was also on real estate investment in the US. I lived in Atlanta, and I had an MBA from Emory University, and I focus on alternative investments and real estate. And I can provide services like organize accountants, lawyers, people that will do the designs for a property, if it's commercial, if it's residential. I have a good network of other brokers too to find opportunities, since this is a very big city. Sometimes you don't find it yourself, you find it through somebody else, but if you know the key people, it's going to be easier. And I have worked with companies that provide services to do turnkey projects.
Okay.
They can do all you need. You just organize the contract with them, and they take care of everything.
Okay, cool, fantastic, great. Thank you, Arcesio. So if you're interested in essentially real estate in Bogota, whether it be commercial or residential, Arcesio can help put you in touch with the right people. And as you can see from this analysis, he won't be giving you nonsense numbers, so that's very valuable. In some countries, people tend to be very optimistic and run with happy figures. With Arcesio, you'll get the real numbers.
Well, thank you very much, Ladislas.
Fantastic, and it's 11 a.m. I think it's time for a beer, right?
Yes, definitely. We never say no to a beer.
All right, cheers.
Okay.